What is the Chinese coalition that is being referred to here, if you know, sir?
Chinese evangelical Christians.
And what is your relationship to the Chinese Evangelical Christian Coalition?
Well, because of my position at Traditional Family Coalition, I know some Chinese churches.
And would I be correct to infer that from that of July 2007, you were already working with ProtectMarriage.com in connection to what became Proposition 8?
Yes, I think so. But my memory is not very good. I don't exactly remember what was really done in '07. I really.
Now, well, does this document refresh your recollection that as of July 2nd, 2007, you were working with ProtectMarriage.com in connection with what became Proposition 8?
Yeah, I think that I was approached and I was informed that some marriage amendment could be put onto the ballot, but then we need a signature gathering, so that's what this is.
Now, let me, Your Honor, I would offer Plaintiff's Exhibit 2620.
Hearing no objection, 2620 is admitted.
Dr. Tam, let me ask you next to look at Plaintiff's Exhibit 2476.
Okay.
Do you have it?
Yes,
Okay.
this is.
This is an email that you sent on October 22nd, 2007, correct?
Uh-huh, '07, yeah.
And you sent it to whom, sir?
It's addressed here is called Dear Friend of TFC, and these are members of TFC, which is Traditional Family Coalition.
Okay. And the first paragraph, you say, I'm still waiting for ProtectMarriage.com for instructions of when we should start the signature collection for California's Marriage Amendment Initiative. Do you see that?
Yes.
And that was a true statement as of October 22nd, 2007, yes?
Yes.
Your Honor, I would offer Plaintiff's Exhibit 2476.
Very well, 2476 is admitted.
Now, as part of your work with ProtectMarriage.com, you solicited contributions to ProtectMarriage.com, correct?
Yes.
All right, and let me ask you to turn to Plaintiff's Exhibit 2612.
Okay.
Now, this is an email that you sent on February 14th, 2008, correct?
Yes.
And this is an email that refers to the interview or debate that you had that was broadcast on Channel 26, correct?
Did you say 2612?
I'm sorry, the exhibit number?
Yes?
No, it's 2472.
I'm sorry, 2472.
I apologize if I misspoke, Your Honor. I did say 2612, but it's 2472.
All right, 2472 it is. And you wish that exhibit? Are you with that exhibit, Mr. Tam?
Yes, I'm there.
Good. Now, this is an email that you sent on February 14th, 2008, correct?
Yes.
And you're talking about the opportunity that you have to publicize what you refer to as, quote, our Protect Marriage Amendment.
Yes.
Now, close quote. And this is on television, correct?
Uh-huh.
Is that correct, sir?
Yes.
Right. And this was a debate that you participated in that was going to be broadcast and was broadcast over Channel 26, correct?
It's an interview. It's not debate.
Well, is this separate from the debate that you referred to earlier? You said you participated in a debate that was broadcast over Channel 26. Do you recall that, sir?
Yeah, it's separate.
Separate, okay?
Two separate events.
Okay. So you both had a debate and a separate interview, both of which were broadcast on Channel 26, and both of which were used to promote Proposition 8, correct?
Yes.
Now, let me focus on the debate. And I asked you this question, but I'm not sure we got an answer. The debate that you participated in that was broadcast over Channel 26.
Yes.
Now, that was a debate that you participated in because you were told to participate in it by ProtectMarriage.com, correct?
Yes.
Now, let me go to Plaintiff's Exhibit 2612. This is an email that you sent on January 10th, 2008.
Yes.
And in that you talk about the fact that many Christian groups are joining forces to launch Proposition 8, correct?
Yes.
And those forces included your organization of TFC and included ProtectMarriage.com, correct?
Yes.
And California Family Council
Yes.
and Concerned Women of America,
Yes.
and Values Advocacy Council,
Yes.
and others that you do not list there, correct?
Right.
Your Honor, I would offer Plaintiff's Exhibit 2612.
2612 is admitted.
Now, let me ask you to turn next to Plaintiff's Exhibit 2640.
Okay.
Now, this is an email chain that includes both you and Mr. Pugno, correct?
What I see here is my name on it and Mr. Puno's name on it. I don't know whether it's a chain or not.
Well, sir, if you begin,
Yeah, no, Your Honor, I'd object on attorney-client privilege. I think at that point, Mr. Cunha was serving as Mr. Tam's attorney.
Attorney-client privilege?
no, it was introduced to us in discovery, Your Honor. There was no claim of attorney privilege at that time that I'm aware of.
Your Honor,
I'm also not sure, just looking at
I
this,
beg your
that-
pardon?
I also believe, just looking at the substance of this document,
It does
that
not appear to relate to legal advice.
and I just wanted to clarify, we had produced the documents, we had gathered them and produced them, and we are not asserting attorney-client defender-intervenors. Protect marriage was not.
Very well, 2640 is admitted.
and this includes both emails from Mr. Pugno to you and emails from you to Mr. Pugno, correct?
Yes.
And what was the purpose of the emails that you sent to Mr. Pugno? What were you trying to tell him?
I was asking anything I shouldn't say or disclose in case of questions from Chinese press.
All right, and let me ask you to look next at Plaintiff's Exhibit 2651. And while you're doing that, Your Honor, I may not have offered Plaintiff's Exhibit 2472, and I would offer that at this time.
Very well, 2472 is admitted.
Now, do you have Plaintiff's Exhibit 2651, Dr. Tam?
Yes.
All right. Now, this includes both emails from Lynn Fischel to you and emails from you to Lynn Fischel, correct?
Yes.
And who is Lynn Fischel?
Someone who works for California Family Council.
And this email that went to you is directed to the ProtectMarriage.com leadership, correct?
That's what it says here.
Right, and that's what it said when you received it in March of 2008, correct, sir?
Yes.
Right, and you were part of the ProtectMarriage.com leadership, correct, sir?
I think she's just being nice to call me one of the ProtectMarriage.com leadership. I don't believe I am.
Well, at the time, you didn't tell her that you didn't think you were part of the leadership, did you, sir?
Well, I didn't think that I was. You know, when somebody says something nice to you, you should say, hey, don't say that. I'm not as good. You know, that's common sense. In fact, at the time, I don't really care what they called me. But frankly, I don't believe I'm a ProtectMarriage.com within their core group. I'm not.
You're not in their core group?
No.
What do you mean by core group?
I don't know. You have been talking about, I was sitting there, I listened to all your different comments about core group, and I know I'm not.
So the term core group is something you sort of picked up in this litigation, correct?
Right, right.
Right, yes.
Right.
Uh-huh. And let me ask you to look at 2609. And while you're doing that, I would offer Plaintiff's Exhibit 2651.
Very well, 2651 is admitted. And this is 2649, is it?
No, 2609.
2609, sorry.
Okay, sir?
Okay.
Okay, good. Now, excuse me, Plaintiff's Exhibit 2609 is an email that you sent April 15th, 2008, correct?
Yes.
And do you remember telling me just a moment ago that you thought that Lynn Fischel was just being nice to you when she described you as part of the ProtectMarriage.com leadership?
Uh-huh.
You remember telling me that?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Objection, Your Honor. This is another document that's on the highly confidential attorney's eyes only. This is to pastors and church leaders. It's a private email, so I would object to any open court discussion of this document. And this is not from the ProtectMarriage.com. It's an internal memo from Bill to his group.
This is a memorandum or email sent by the witness, correct?
Sent by the witness, yes.
Objection overruled.
Now, Dr. Tam, let me direct your attention to the second paragraph.
Okay.
Now, do you see where you write, this year, TFC, and that's you, correct, sir?
Yes.
right, is playing a major role to put one man, one woman marriage into California's Constitution. You see that?
Yes.
And that was a true statement as of April of 2008?
Yes.
Yes. And you go on to say that you served as one of the proponents of this initiative, and you worked closely with ProtectMarriage.com to collect 1,050,000 signatures. Do you see that?
Yes.
And that was a true statement, wasn't it?
Yes, in the sense that now this is April of 2008. At that stage, it was during the signature petition phase. So yeah, I was playing a major role. I spent a lot of time sending out petitions and collecting them, and worked closely with all the mechanics with Project Protect Marriage to, you know, to get petitions off to Chinese churches. So those are true statements, and yeah, working closely with them, but that was April.
No, when you say working closely with them, you mean you were working closely with ProtectMarriage.com, correct?
Yes.
Your Honor, I would offer Plaintiff's Exhibit 2609.
Very well.
No. This document, I'm sorry, this document contained a lot of sensitive numbers that I would not like to disclose to the public.
I'd object also, Your Honor, this is one that we did designate attorney's eyes only, and some of the major reasons is they're very, very sensitive. There are very, very sensitive numbers in there. And this is not something that should be available for public to see. It has salary numbers, budget numbers, information about Dr. Tam's family. So this falls, I think it falls strictly under the attorney's eyes only protection.
This document is my letter to pastors and church leaders. Most of the things are talking about my personal information, and I'd be very offended if this was to be put into public eye.
Now, Your Honor, we'll be prepared to redact the balance of the paragraph after the two sentences that I read. The two sentences that I read are really the key points for us. And I'm not sure I agree with Dr. Tam and his counsel, but in the spirit of trying to move things along and being cooperative, we'll redact those.
Very well, that should take care of the problem. 2609, as redacted, will be admitted.
Let me ask you to look next at Plaintiff's Exhibit 2650.
All right.
Now, at the bottom of the first page, there is an email from you to Lynn Fischel, correct?
Yes.
And you're responding to an earlier email that she had sent you, correct?
Yes.
And one of the things you're asking her is, who is Brian Brown, and why is he speaking for us? Do you see that?
Yes.
And who is the us there?
Those people who are within, I would say, protectmarriage.com.
And that included you and TFC, correct, sir?
Yes, to a certain extent, yes.
Now, Your Honor, I would offer Plaintiff's Exhibit 2650.
2650 is admitted.
Now, let me ask you to look next, Dr. Tam, at Plaintiff's Exhibit 2538. Now,
Okay.
this is an email that you wrote on May 15th, 2008, correct?
Yes.
And it talks about, at one point, how you stood with the lawyers from ProtectMarriage.com and other people when the California Supreme Court had come down with its opinion saying that same-sex marriage is legal in California, correct?
Yes.
Right. And the last sentence of this says, we can't lose this battle. And the next battle was the battle that you're referring to, was the battle for Proposition 8, correct, sir?
Yes.
You say, we can't lose the battle for Proposition 8, or God's definition of marriage will be permanently erased in California. You see that?
Yes.
Now, was that your motivation for participating with ProtectMarriage.com in promoting Proposition 8?
Yeah, it was one of the reasons.
Your Honor, I would offer Plaintiff's Exhibit 2538.
Very well, 2538 is admitted.
Now, what were the other reasons, Dr. Tam?
The other reason is I think it's very important for the next generation to understand the historical meaning of marriage. It's very important that our children won't grow up to fantasize or think about, should I marry Jane or John when I grow up?
And you know, just as your children are benefited from you and your wife being married, that the children of gays and lesbians would be benefited if their parents were married, correct?
No.
No. You don't think that children want their parents to be married?
I don't know what you're getting at.
What I'm trying to get at, and I will be really clear, is that children of gays and lesbians want their parents to be married, just like children of heterosexual couples want their parents to be married, because the word marriage means something, correct? Now, you may think they shouldn't have it.
Yes.
Okay, you may think they shouldn't have it for all sorts of reasons, but you recognize that it's important to those children,
Yes.
correct? Right?
Yes.
All right. Now let me turn to another subject and let me ask you to look at Exhibit 2633. And can you identify what this is, sir?
Yes.
What is it?
That's an email I received from Andy Pernod about the Statement of Unity.
And the second page of the exhibit, the page that bears the document production stamp, TAM PM 6668, is a statement of unity, correct, sir?
Yes.
And this was a statement of unity with respect to the Proposition 8 campaign, correct?
Yes.
And it is headed protectmarriage.com, correct?
Yes.
And at the bottom, you say, I and the organization I represent join in the foregoing statement of unity, correct?
Yes.
And you signed it, sir, right?
Yes.
On behalf of yourself and on behalf of the Traditional Family Coalition. You signed that, sir, right?
Yes.
Right. And this statement of unity that you say you agreed to, in the second line says, victory depends on the mutual commitment of each coalition partner to work in the service of a unified campaign. Do you see that?
Which
The
paragraph?
very first paragraph, the second line.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see that.
And you agreed to that, sir, right?
Yes.
And you agreed to work in the service of a unified campaign with protectmarriage.com, correct?
Yes.
Yes. And going to the second paragraph, you agreed that multiple campaign committees, independent strategies for public messaging, and personal use of the marriage amendment to raise funds or increase membership are counterproductive and increase the likelihood of defeat, correct?
Yes.
And you agreed that you would not have independent strategies for public messaging, right, sir?
Yes.
Right.
But later on, I forgot about the document and I made some independent statements, I believe not aligned with protectmarriage.com and not following the directions of this
Well,
document.
sir, you consider yourself an honest person, don't you, sir?
Yes.
And you wouldn't sign anything that you don't believe, would you?
Right. Yeah. I wouldn't sign if I don't believe it.
And when you sign something and make a commitment, you take that commitment seriously, don't you?
Yes.
Now, one of the things that you committed here, number 2, do you see this? The heading, Message Discipline. Now, you agreed. You agreed that public communications by coalition partners in support of the marriage amendment must be approved by the campaign manager for strategic message discipline. Do you see that, sir?
Yes.
And you agreed to that, didn't you, sir?
Yes. At the time, yes. But later on, I admit that I violated this message principle.
Well, let's explore that. This was signed in July of 2008, correct?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So, up to that point, you had message discipline, correct?
I think so.
And you didn't start violating that pledge the next day, did you?
I don't know what you mean.
You don't know when.
Oh, I don't know when.
You don't know when.
Right.
Yeah. When do you think you violated the pledge, sir?
Well, frankly, I don't remember. I don't
What
know.
did you say that violated the pledge?
Well, I think like what I told Mercury, San Jose Mercury News about homosexuality leads to all kinds of diseases. I think I said by saying that I might violated the principle.
Right. Now that was published in the Mercury News, right?
Yes.
And that wasn't something that was hidden. That was right out there in public, right?
Right.
Did anybody from protectmarriage.com come and tell you shouldn't have said that?
Yes.
Who said that? Who told you that?
I forgot his name, but one person called me and said that you shouldn't have said that.
Is that in writing anywhere? Any record of that?
No.
Do you remember the name?
That was Mr. White. I think Mr. White, yeah. Something like Mr. White.
Something like Mr. White.
Yeah.
But you didn't get it in writing or anything.
I don't remember.
And when they had you sign the pledge, you had to do it in writing, right? Right? You have to answer audibly, sir, so the court reporter can take it down.
Yes.
But Here, this supposed statement that Mr. White or somebody told you was never written down and was never in an email, you never made a note of it, they never recorded it in any way. Is that your testimony?
Yes.
Now, this interview in the San Jose Mercury News was October 15th, 2008. Did you violate this pledge any other time?
Yeah. I think, yeah.
Yeah. And when Mr. White came to you and said, Mr. Tam, you're violating your pledge, did you say, oh, I'm sorry, I won't do it anymore?
Let's see, that was in October.
Yeah?
That happened in October, yeah. After October, I think I haven't said anything to violate this. I tried to keep my mouth shut.
So the only time that you say you violated this pledge was the San Jose Mercury News?
No, there was another time.
What was that other time?
I think that time was when I spoke to a Chinese newspaper reporter.
And what did you tell that Chinese newspaper reporter?
I mentioned something about what you had probed me before about sibling marriage, and that happened in September, sometime in September.
And did anyone from ProtectMarriage.com tell you, come to you after and say you shouldn't be talking about what's happening in other countries?
No, because there was a Chinese newspaper reporter, and I don't think they read that.
All right, well, let me go back to one of the exhibits we looked at before. Exhibit 2199.
Okay.
This is, where your oneman1woman.net website said that homosexuality is linked to pedophilia and homosexuals are 12 times more likely to molest children. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And I believe on your direct testimony, you referred to protectmarriage.com drafting this declaration.
Yes.
Is there a specific person within protectmarriage.com that you were thinking of when you said
Yeah,
that?
Mr. Andy Pugnol.
Mr. Puno, what was your attorney at the time?
Yes.
Mr. Tam, you also testified that protectmarriage.com, in relation to this debate that you attended, that protectmarriage.com instructed you to go to, I'm sorry, excuse me, told you to participate in that debate.
Yes.
What does that mean to you? Do you feel that you could say no to them?
Yeah, I could have said no to them.
And focusing then on the campaign phase after Prop 8 was actually on the ballot, Mr. Boyce had you look at a statement of unity. Let me find that here. It's going to be in their binder, not mine. I think it's 2633.
Yes.
And if you look at the second, it's the paragraph that's numbered number 2, which says message discipline.
Yes.
Public communications by coalition partners in support of the marriage amendment must be approved by the campaign manager for strategic message discipline. Did that, in fact, occur to you or any of your organizations that you were involved with?
Could you repeat the question? Discipline?
Did you get any of the messaging that you did personally approved by the campaign manager for protectmarriage.com before you sent it?
No, no.
Did you get any of the messaging that you sent out or that your organization, the Traditional Family Coalition, sent out approved by the campaign manager, Schubert Flint?
No, no.
From protectmarriage.com?
No.
How about the oneman1woman.net organization? Did any of that information get approved or submitted to the campaign manager before it was
No.
sent out?
No.
The third paragraph where it says that is entitled The Face of the Coalition, and the second sentence says, all media requests are to be forwarded to the campaign for assignment to the appropriate spokesperson, which may or may not be the coalition partner originally contacted by the press. Every time that you were contacted by the press, did you refer it to protectmarriage.com?
No.
Okay, if not.
Yeah, I would appreciate that. Thank you.
Take 5 minutes. Very well. Mr. Boyes, you may redirect.
Thank you, Your Honor. Dr. Tam, you said you worked more closely with the protectmarriage.com people during what you call the petition phase, as opposed to what you call the campaign phase. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Now, when did the campaign phase, as you describe it, start?
I say the in the fall.
In the fall of 2008?
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you to look at Plaintiff's Exhibit 2472.
Okay.
All right, this is an email that you wrote February 14th, 2008, is that correct?
Yes.
And in that, you talked about your opportunity to publicize what you referred to as our marriage amendment, our Protect Marriage Amendment on television.
Yes.
Now, did you view this as part of the campaign phase?
Probably not, because if it's in the campaign phase, it would have, everybody know about it. I don't have to publicize it.
Well, let me refer to the debate that you had with, that was broadcast by Channel 26. I mean, that was a debate that certainly everybody knew about, right?
Yes.
Because ProtectMarriage.com had told you to do it, right? Remember?
Yes.
So they knew about that.
Yes.
Was that part of the campaign phase?
Yes, I think it was in October.
And let me ask you to look at Plaintiff's Exhibit 2633 that we dealt with before.
2633.
Yes, 2633.
Okay.
It's the Statement of Unity. And, Your Honor, I think I did not offer it earlier, but I will offer it at this time.
2633?
Yes.
Very well. If it's not previously been admitted, it shall be.
Now, this is July 21st, 2008, correct?
Yes.
And this was part of the campaign phase.
I say, yeah, that the starting point.
Yeah, the starting point of the campaign phase. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, it could be. Yeah, could
All
be.
right, let me ask you to look at Plaintiff's Exhibit 2631.
All right.
All right, and this is in the early August of 2008, correct?
Yes.
And this shows you attending the weekly grassroots conference, correct?
Yes.
And this was certainly part of the campaign phase, correct?
Did you say 2631?
2631, yes, of which I would offer, Your Honor.
Hearing no objection, 2631 is admitted.
And you told counsel on cross-examination that you only met with people from Schubert Flint a few times. You remember that?
Met them? No, I did not meet them.
Well, you said very rare contact with Schubert Flint, 1 or 2 times. Do you remember telling that to your counsel?
Yeah.
Now, Schubert Flint were running these weekly conferences calls. They were running these weekly conference calls, right?
I did not know who runs it really.
Well, Exhibit 2631 came from Schubert Flint, correct?
Yes.
Yes, and you know that Schubert Flint was running the ProtectMarriage.com campaign, correct?
Yes.
And these calls went on every week, correct, sir?
Yes.
And you participated in them every week, correct, sir?
Not every week. I think I have done 6 or 7, something like that.
And each one of these 6 or 7, they were ones that Schubert and Flint were in on, right?
Frankly, I don't know who was on. They all sound alike. I'm very bad in recognizing names and relate to the voice, especially so many people are talking, and then English is not my mother tongue.
All right, well, sir, let's get a couple things straight. First, when you received notices of these calls, it came from Schubert Flint, correct?
Yes.
And when you received minutes of the calls, it came from Schubert Flint, correct?
I know it's from their company.
Yeah, for example, Plaintiff's Exhibit 2630.
All right.
Your Honor, did I offer Plaintiff's Exhibit 2631?
You did. It's in.
Thank you. And Exhibit 2630 is minutes of that conference call that Schubert Flint then sent you, correct?
Yes.
And if you look at Plaintiff's Exhibit 2599, got it?
Yes.
Yes. This is, again, minutes of a grassroots meeting, a weekly grassroots meeting that you are getting from Schubert Flint, correct?
Yes.
And this is during the campaign phase, correct?
Yes.
And you recall that this is one that talks about you and talks about a website being up of onemanOnewoman.com. I think it means .net.
Yes.
I make that mistake myself. You see that?
Yes.
All right. Your Honor, I would offer Plaintiff's Exhibit 2599.
Very well, 2599 is in.
And if you would look at Exhibit 2504, now this is October 29th, 2008, correct?
Yes.
And this is during the campaign phase, correct?
Yes.
And these are communications between you and ProtectMarriage.com, correct?
Yes.
Your Honor, I would offer Plaintiff's Exhibit 2504.
Very well, there have been some redactions here. Is that material?
Your Honor, the redactions might be material to permit the court to evaluate the extent of the contact, and I would ask the court in camera to look at the names.
Your Honor, as well, I've only seen a redacted version, and I think we would need to see it to evaluate whether it's in fact somebody with ProtectMarriage.com. We need to see the name to be able to evaluate whether it is even somebody with ProtectMarriage.com.
Well, can you submit an unredacted copy?
I believe it's been submitted to them. I didn't do those redactions.
Yeah, we will work with counsel, and we will be sure that the court gets an unredacted copy.
Very well, 2504 will be admitted.
And would you look, please, Doctor, at Plaintiff's Exhibit 2185?
Okay.
Okay? This is a TFC News Bulletin, correct?
Yes.
And this follows the passage of Proposition 8. It follows the passage of Proposition 8, correct?
Yes.
And if you look up, if you look at the page that is marked DEFINT PM 5077 at the bottom, you see that?
Yes.
It says that the Traditional Family Coalition during 2008 was allied with ProtectMarriage.com. Do you see that?
Could you point to where I can see, where it
Yeah,
is?
do you see at the box on the right-hand side? It says Traditional Family Coalition 2008 Historical
Yeah,
Events.
yes, I see, yeah,
Now, do you see the first one is allied with ProtectMarriage.com?
yes.
Yes. I would offer Exhibit 2185.
Very well, 2185 is admitted.
And if I did not, I think I may not have offered it, I would also offer Exhibit 2630.
All right, if not previously admitted, 2630 is in.
And with respect, would you look at Plaintiff's Exhibit 2187? All right, there? Okay. With respect to your assertion that you were not closely working with ProtectMarriage.com during the campaign phase, October of 2008 was clearly during the campaign phase, correct?
Yes.
And this is a flyer that was sponsored by the Traditional Family Coalition, your organization, co-sponsored by ProtectMarriage.com, correct?
Yes.
And this was the one where you asked Mr. Prentice to speak at, correct?
Yes.
And during the campaign phase, ProtectMarriage.com, they reimbursed you for your expenses of television and radio and print advertisements, correct?
They reimbursed me. They reimbursed people, the organization who placed some ads for Protect Marriage.
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
They reimbursed not me. They reimbursed people, the organization who placed some ads for Protect Marriage. They didn't reimburse me.
Ah.
They reimbursed the people who run some ads, TV ads or newspaper ads.
Now, was this the Traditional Family Coalition that they were reimbursing?
No, these are people, there were some Chinese Christians who offered to put some advertisement for Prop 8, but then they don't know how to do it, so yeah.
All right, well, let me ask you to look at Plaintiff's Exhibit 2627. This is an email that you got from Mr. Puno of ProtectMarriage.com, correct?
Right,
And this is dated October 27th, 2008, correct?
yes.
I would offer Exhibit 2627, Plaintiff's Exhibit 2627.
Very well, 2627 is admitted.
And this is addressed to multiple people, but one of them is the Traditional Family Coalition, correct?
Yes,
And it says at the top, Bill and Peter, and you are the Bill, correct?
yes,
And it says your organizations are spending approximately $50,000 to place TV and radio and print advertising with Asian media. Do you see that?
yes,
And your organizations refers to Peter's organization and your organization, correct?
it looks like he was referring to that, but my organization did not do any of the TV or whatever ad, it's Peter's. But then I introduced Peter to Andy so they can work these things out, because I don't want to get involved with those.
Well, sir, this doesn't say, this isn't just addressed to Peter, and it just doesn't say your organization. It's addressed to both of you, and it says your organizations, plural, correct?
Yeah, that's what is here, yeah,
And what you were saying, you're saying that it was just wrong?
right.
Is there anything in writing where you could correct that? Did you send them back an email that says, no, my organization is not spending any of this money?
Once again,
Now, I'm not asking you whether you did it or not, sir. I'm just asking you whether you did it or not.
No, I did not. This is an S of the organization to me. As a Chinese, I never knew I have to face a lawyer asking me this kind of question. So I never bothered to specify, hey, you are saying this S is wrong. You know?
No, when you get emails, you often reply to them, correct?
Not really.
Well, in fact, we've seen some of yours.
Yeah, sometimes I reply to some of the things, but I don't
Sir, all I'm doing is I'm asking. See, you're saying today that this is wrong, and I'm just trying to figure out whether there's anything that's written down contemporaneously that supports that or not. Whether there is anything that you could use to support your testimony. That's all I'm asking.
No, I did not reply to it and correcting how many organizations are doing that, or, you know, that I'm not involved in this.
Incidentally, you worked closely with Peter, did you not, in organizing things in support of ProtectMarriage.com?
No, not really, because I only work with him in organizing the rally. But in terms, he runs a lot of the show.
A lot of what show?
Well, like the rally, the putting out the pamphlet, the flyer, I did not do those kind of things.
Well, you worked with him in doing those kind of things, didn't you? I mean, for example, you and he were both contacts for the press invitation for the rally, correct?
That's true.
Yeah?
Yes.
Your organization was the sponsor of the rally, correct?
Yes.
Now, I've just got two more questions. And the first is it your testimony that you were not involved with the formulation of campaign strategy and messaging for ProtectMarriage.com? Now, is that your testimony?
That is correct.
And I think you testified earlier that based on the knowledge of what a core group is, means that you have picked up. You didn't think that you were part of the core group. Is that correct?
No.
Now, am I correct that you are not part of the core group according to your current testimony?
Right, I'm not the core group.
Okay, now during your break, did you talk to anybody about your testimony?
Yeah, I talked to my lawyer.
You talked to your lawyer. What did you say to your lawyer?
I say I felt like a naughty boy being put in front of a classroom and being mocked at.
Ah, and what did your lawyer say to you?
He laughed.
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained.
One last question, Dr. Tam. You have indicated earlier that you felt you were a minority. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And you are aware that there were periods, unfortunate periods in our history, where Asian Americans were limited in who they could marry. You do know that, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And I take it that if those laws were present today, you would feel very aggrieved by those laws, would you not, if you couldn't marry the person you loved?
Your Honor, this is beyond the scope of my direct.
Yes.
That's okay, Your Honor. He answered.
Objection overruled. Very well. Mr. Tam, thank you for your testimony. You may step down, sir.